Right, we're glad to have you back. President Muhammadu Buhari is the new chairman of the Authority of Heads of States and Government of the Economic Community of West African States.
Yeah,
ECOWAS.
He was elected at the 53rd Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government in Lome, Togo. In his acceptance remarks, President Buhari, who commended his colleagues for his election, noted that he did not offer himself for the post. He, however, promised to deliver on peace, security, good governance and socio-economic development of the sub-region and also take the organization to greater heights.
Yes, indeed. Well, TVC News senior news researcher Cyril Abaku is with us in the studio. Good morning. Good to see you.
My pleasure, Ngozi.
Nice to see you, Cyril.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's begin from President Buhari's response to this new appointment. Commendable, definitely. But he said, well, they refused to accept his no.
Of course.
He didn't offer himself, for this job. What do you decipher from that?
Yes, he didn't. But again, like all the big nations of the world, Nigeria is not Africa's giant for nothing. Some things are bestowed upon you, whether you like it or not. Our population size, our economy, our standing. You know, when they say that Nigeria is the giant of Africa, actually, we have earned that title or that name or that stature based on the fact that we've kept with the saying that charity begins at home. West Africa is what it is today because Nigeria has done what it has done, substantially, militarily, economically. In fact, the fact that Gowon in 1975 conceived the initiative to say that West African states will do better coming together. A lot needs to be done, quite all right. But you know, the pioneering vision to form ECOWAS here in Lagos, for instance, was groundbreaking at the time. And so, if you look at ECOWAS' journey through the years, whether Nigeria has been at the helm or not, ECOWAS wouldn't have moved forward if Nigeria didn't actually give that basic impetus, the zeitgeist, for it to move. So, yes, fair and square. They've said, look, Mr. Buhari, whether I like it or not, please step on board. I think that he has his work cut out for him, but it's a good thing that since their next meeting is coming up in December, he has enough time to come back to his cabinet and to meet with his foreign advisors and see how they can map out a new strategy for the short time he's going to be the leader of ECOWAS.
Well, we'll look forward to their next meeting on 21st of December this year. But basically, a lot of ECOWAS citizens, if I have to put it that way, putting all the citizens of all the countries, 15 countries of ECOWAS put together, if you ask them, what is the impact of ECOWAS on you, or how much do you know about the ECOWAS? Not so many people are going to say a lot of things when it comes to the benefits of ECOWAS, but what would you see, or what would you say has been the greatest achievement of ECOWAS?
Well, you know that fundamentally, it is economic community of West African states.
Exactly.
What the Francophonie will make, the CDAO. It's a community. So I think the pioneering vision was a trade community to enable trade to flow more freely among the member states. But you see, as the world has also evolved, we have seen that we cannot take away politics from economics. And so what is driving us today is the political economy. And that is why as early as the late part of the last century, we had ECOMOG, which was basically a politically interventionist movement. I think those who gained freedom from Samuel Doe,
in Liberia,
those who gained freedom from the Sierra Leone Civil War, those who, and so on and so forth, they know that at some point ECOWAS became their redeemer. Sorry, ECOMOG. Yes, became the redeemer. Whether those games are sustained or not over time is another argument. But fundamentally, and then I think that somehow with the formation of ECOWAS, trade actually increased. You know, these Nigerians going to Cotonou to buy things and so on. Somehow, ECOWAS also helped to expand those corridors. People now, our markets became a little bit more integrated. But I think that where we've lost it,
some observers would say that this free trade, free crossing of the borders within the ECOWAS region has really not been to Nigeria's advantage economically.
No, you know that Nigeria was doing this for the Christmas thing for many African countries. When we said that we are Africa's, what is it called? We are the giant of Africa, or that Africa is the centerpiece of our foreign policy.
Or the big brother of Africa?
Yes, of our foreign policy. We've always played the conceding You know, we've also look at South Africa before they gained independence. We just went and gave them some.
No,
you
before
just,
the collapse of
of
apartheid.
apartheid.
Because their independence was
You remember when
way,
people
way
like
back.
Mandela came to Yaba here to come and hide and so on?
Yeah.
We just open our borders and say, look, it's as if we have so much that they should go and gain. In Sierra Leone, after ECOWAS intervened, it was Britain that came to invest. That's why I said that somehow our own governments lack vision beyond intervention. That's one thing. But you see, and again, because our politics here, the domestic situation at home, has not been driven by ideology. Succeeding governments don't come in and see that they should sustain. Obasanjo did something by appointing a minister for integration in Africa. I think Chief Bimbo Ogunkelu, when he came, you know, in his first term.
Yes.
But now we have a foreign ministry. But it's fine. What we should be doing is to see how, you know, when the French president came, Macron, he will come to Nigeria and negotiate. We will talk about Boko Haram and so on.
Yeah.
He will go to Chad and negotiate, go to Nigeria and negotiate. I don't think that these discussions, sometimes, you know, beyond the unilateral, beyond France's unilateral and from our own end, bilateral cooperation.
Yes.
There is no regional blueprint for how we can also channel, because, you know, for instance, Cameroon is not part of ECOWAS. There are issues there. But how have we been able to properly integrate? The way you have the ECA in Eastern Africa, you have the SADC in Southern Africa, you even have the other one that his predecessor now, the Togolese president, you know, there's one that is in Central Africa as well.
Yeah.
You know, how do we...
And now Morocco wants to be part of ECOWAS too. That's
yes,
also there.
Do we have a proper blueprint for assimilation and consolidation and then progression? How we are able to... Some will say that, do this for Nigeria. You know, for me, I don't think that, particularly when you're the big cat in the jungle, if it is not favoring you, it's because you've not dictated the pace at which these things should be going.
No, but others will also argue that the point there is the Francophone countries, they've not been very open to that kind of a bond between them and the other countries. And ironically, it so happened that it is the Anglophone countries that are bigger when it comes to economy. Nigeria, Ghana, on the other hand, and all of that. So they've not been able to cohesively come together to say, okay, let us work as one, considering the influence of France on them. At least Britain, on the other hand, has not been so much into its former colonies in the way that France is.
It hasn't been at all.
You've raised the fact. You see, you've raised the fact. Let me tell you this. You know, you have this situation where you have 3, 4, 5 West African French countries. They have a common central bank. But the central bank is the central bank of France and so on. So you're talking about economic colonialism or imperialism. It's noted. But you see, 1975 to today is a long time.
It is.
You know what happened with Yaya Jammeh
In Gambia.
In Gambia.
If you want to actually dictate what goes on externally, it must have political ramifications and economic ramifications. What the cashew that they grow in the Gambia, for instance, is something that Lagos alone can consume. So why has Nigeria, you know, effectively thought of? I'm not making the case for imperialism anyway, but you see, in light of Pan-African, what ECOWAS wants to achieve, how have we been able to properly integrate economically to make sure that, look...
But the irony is that even the cashew they grow, Anambra State alone can feed the whole of Enugu State alone can grow everything that Gambia grows.
Now, you also look at this. We ought to be asking, what exactly, beyond, I mean, ECOWAS is there, but what should be Buhari's agenda? The man that handed over to Buhari is stifling democracy in his country. We know
Nasingbe.
Yes. I mean, after Nasingbe Yadema, he did about 35 years or so.
His son takes over.
He has now passed the baton not to find Nasingbe, who is a typical chip from the old block. I think what we need to do is to say that, look, let's create democratic benchmarks for member states. How do we entrench and deepen democracy in these places?
Okay, let's hit the nail on the head. President Buhari has said he will deliver. He will do all he can to deliver on security, you know, peace, good governance within the West African sub-region. In an election year, you have 2019 is drawing right around the corner. You're wondering how much, won't he have too much on his plate?
Maybe.
And then, of course, you have the Foreign Affairs Minister, Jeffrey Onyama, you know, who will be chairman of the Council of Ministers. So, yeah.
What time does he have?
Let's just say, arguably, Buhari knew why he didn't want the job, perhaps.
In the first place.
But let's also look at it that, you know, those are highly specialized areas of politics, diplomacy. And I mean, Onyema is a sterling diplomat with capacity to speak about 6 or 7 foreign languages and exposure that he has. So I think if the work is properly delegated to him, what these chairmen and heads of governments basically come to do is to discuss the agenda that their experts would have already put on the table for them. Now, between now and December is quite some time for them to sit back, perhaps in collaboration with our sister in the diaspora office in the presidency, sit together, map out a strategy, 1 year, 2 years, you know, and then feed it back to the president. It shouldn't take, for me, I don't think it will be a distraction.
Okay. Because
the fact is that, you know, the way it happened, like in the OPEC situation, the Zania Lesemanwike was chairman. When the government was that, because it was tenure, we filled in that spot. So I think it boils down to what we do with the position.
So do you think it is Buhari that has been endorsed here, the man Buhari or President Buhari or Nigeria?
No, it's Nigeria.
Okay.
The tenure goes by country.
Okay.
And that's why for me I think that it's important. We need to sustain. Look, this is beyond, sorry, if you look at America's foreign policy objectives, whether Republican or Democrat, they are clear. Whether the Democrats want to use the soft power to achieve it, or the Republicans want to use fire and fury to achieve it, is immaterial. There is a consensus that America's foreign policy is America's foreign policy. Nigeria also needs to have that kind of, you know.
We used to have it.
We
used to have it. We used to have, it was at that time it was designed that, and everyone knew that Africa was the centerpiece of Nigeria's foreign policy.
I think it went from Muritala, from Gowon to Muritala, and perhaps a little bit to Babangida, but for the rest of them, I can't really vouch for what they really did with their... You know that there was the Dedeju Commission report that was commissioned in 1976 to properly spell out what Nigeria's foreign policy objectives should be in the world. Because between independence and that time, there was nothing really clearly that we were doing.
True.
That policy was what told us that, look, Nigeria, that the destiny of the black man anywhere in the world depends on
Nigeria.
On Nigeria.
Absolutely.
All right, we have to leave it here now. Cyril Abaku, senior researcher, TVC, thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure, Mike.
Thank you for doing justice to this.
Absolutely.